Good morning, dear students. This is Vision Educare Academy, and I'm Neeraj sir. Today, we're going to talk about, in today's session, we're going to talk about Kepler's laws of planetary motion. You all are aware, in the chapter Gravitation, we've got three laws given by John Kepler, and we are going to discuss about that. Before we discuss, we at Vision Educare are always working for your benefit. We have offline courses as well and online courses too. Whenever you have any doubt or you feel any help is needed, you can always approach us. We have our phone numbers given on YouTube, as well as we are there on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, so we will always be contactable and approachable. All right, let's start. So, what exactly Kepler told us about planetary motion? Earlier than Kepler, people thought that Earth is the center of entire universe and all the other heavenly bodies revolve around Earth. But then slowly we got to know the reality. The reality is Earth is not the center, and even Sun is not the center of the universe. Sun can be considered as center of our solar system, okay? And hence, after understanding and knowing these facts, he formulated these laws we call this as laws of planetary motion given by Kepler. Therefore, it is also termed as Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Okay. The very first law that he gave us was about how the planets revolve around our sun, which is there in the solar system, right? So the exact rotation and revolution of the planets around the sun is not in circle. This is circle. The motion of the planets around the sun is not in circle. Okay, that is the first thing fact we have to remember. ये हमें केपलर ने बताया, not in circle. What is circle? You know that in geometry you studied. Circle is that geometrical figure which has a center, which has a radius, which has circumference, and it in circle, if a planet is moving, it will always be at a fixed distance from a fixed point. The fixed point is called center, fixed distance is called radius. But then Kepler clarified this, that the planets are not revolving around the sun in circle, not in circle. So exactly how are they revolving around the sun? So in order to understand this, we have to understand this geometrical figure, which is different than a circle. This is the geometrical figure I'm talking about. This is called an ellipse. So planets revolve around the sun in this shape. It is called as an ellipse. Ellipse, mind you, has two axes. The green ones that I've drawn are called axes. This is axis 1, this is axis 2. AB, you can name it CD. Now you can see clearly that one is bigger and the other one is smaller. The bigger axis, which is AB here, is called as major axis. And CD, which is a little one, smaller one compared to AB, is called as minor axis. So we have in this ellipse two axes. Okay. Also, we have two foci, F1, F2. We're talking about the shape in which, around which the planets revolve around the sun in reality. Okay. Not in circle. So ye wala shape is not a circle. It's ellipse, and this is how the planets revolve around the sun. The question that should come to your mind is, where is the sun situated in the entire ellipse? यहाँ पर sun कहाँ present है? चलो, we can assume that the planets are revolving around the sun on this path. ये path लिया है, ये green वाला planet है, और ऐसे वो revolve कर रहा है around the sun. ऐसे. So position is changing. पहले A पर था, अब C पर है. Then it keeps on moving. It may be at B, then it at D, and back at A. This is how the planets are revolving. Okay. But question जो आपके दिमाग में, जैसे मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि भाई यहाँ पर sun कहाँ present है? Where is the sun situated? How can I answer this question? Sun का सिचुएशन कहाँ है. तो मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट्स हमेशा बोलते हैं सर सन विल बी सिचुएटेड एट ओ, वेयर ओ इज द पॉइंट, हियर यू कैन सी इन द डायग्राम, intersection point of major and minor axis. No, sun is not situated at O. In fact, sun can be situated either at F1, which is here, or at F2. Sun का position किसी भी एक focus पे हो सकता है. Okay, so you might assume let the sun be present here. ये sun का position है. Sun is situated at any one of the foci. In this example, if the sun is situated at this foci, यहाँ पर present है sun, so our planets will revolve like this around the sun. ये sun है, ये planet revolve करता है. Now, if you observe carefully, you'll come to know that because sun is situated at foci, the distance of the planet around the sun keeps on varying. It is not fixed. At A, it is maximum distance, and at B, it is minimum. Okay, मतलब A पर जाने पे farthest हो जाता है planet from the sun, and B पे आने पे closest हो जाता है. This is how the planets are evolving. This is the first law of Kepler. It is also known as the law of orbits. Kepler's first law of planetary motion, also known as law of orbits. As per this law, every planet revolves around the sun. I'll write the statement. Where sun is situated at any one of the foci. Focus is singular and foci is plural because there are more than one focus present here. We say foci. Okay, so this is the statement of the first law of planetary motion given by Kepler. It is also called as law of orbits. So if anybody is asking you what is the law of orbit, your answer is every planet revolves around the sun in an ellipse where sun is situated at any one of the foci. Okay, this is the ellipse. Ellipse has two axes, major and minor. The point of intersection is O. There are two foci, F1 and F2. The distance from O, understand here, the distance from O to A or O to B is denoted by sometimes as A or sometimes as R. And this distance, which is A or R, mostly it is represented as A so that it is not confused with the radius. This is called as, ये जो A है, this is called as the, either you can call it as mean distance of the planet from the sun. I repeat, mean distance of the planet from the sun, or you can call it as also semi-major axis. Why should I call it as semi-major axis? For a simple reason, because it is half of major axis. Major axis का आधा है, half है. So semi-major axis, okay? I'll repeat once again. This is the law of orbit. Every planet revolves around the sun in an ellipse where sun is situated at any one of the foci, all right? Going to the next law, again, I'll draw the ellipse for you. This is ellipse. These are its two axes, minor and major. Intersection point is O. Okay. We assume that the sun is present here at F2. So this is the location of sun. Our planet is revolving around the sun, okay, taking the path of the ellipse. Let us call this as focus 1, F1. Now, if we take any arbitrary position of the sun and planet, sun is situated at F2, planet का arbitrary position लेते हैं. Let us, arbitrary का मतलब एक assumption वाला position लेते हैं. I say let my planet be present at here. ये मेरा planet है. Call its position as E. So if I draw a line from the sun to the planet, ये line हम draw कर लेते हैं. चलिए S to E, SE. This is the line drawn from the sun to the planet. Okay, इसको बोलते हैं the line joining planet from the sun, or the line joining planet and the sun. This is the line. Okay, this is also called as radius vector. Radius vector of the position of the planet. Position vector भी sometimes you can call it as. अब हमारा planet तो motion में है, it is not at rest. So let us say in time t1 our planet reaches at this position B. T1 time can be anything, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, whatever. Let us say 1 day. Here I'm saying, I'm assuming 1 day में planet हमारा E से B पहुंच जाता है. Okay, अब आप ध्यान से देखो, आपका जो रेडियस वेक्टर है या पोजीशन वेक्टर है या फिर द लाइन ज्वाइनिंग प्लैनेट एंड द सन, यहां से यहां चला गया ऐसे, और इन द मीन टाइम देखोगे तो इट हैज स्वेप्ट एन एरिया. दिस इज द एरिया आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. हु हैज स्वेप्ट दिस एरिया? माइंड इट, द radius vector or the line joining planet and the sun has swept this area. Yeah. You can call this area as A1. आप इसको A1 बोल सकते हो. Area swept by the line joining planet and the sun or radius vector in time t1, which we have assumed 1 day. Okay. Now, after a few more days, let us consider our planet is present somewhere here. I call this position as, let us say, F. So what will be the line joining the planet and the sun now, or radius vector? It will be SF, S considering the position of the sun. Again, let us say time t2, our planet takes and reaches at a new position, call it as D. So now the line joining planet and the sun will be SD. And again, the line joining planet and sun will have swept this area. Call this area as A2. This area I'm assuming as A2. This area we assumed as A1, this area is A2. The time taken here is T1, which is, I'm considering 1 day, and the time taken here is T2. So question number 1, who's sweeping the areas? The answer has to be the line joining planet and the sun, or the radius vector. This radius vector is sweeping the area. Okay. In some time, of course, the time is very important because planet is already in motion, always in motion. तो हम यहाँ से यहाँ जब planet move करता है तो कितना area sweep करता है, यहाँ से यहाँ कितना area sweep करता है. Now what does the law say? The law says if your time is same, t1 equal to t2, अगर आपका समय सही सेम है, ये यहाँ से यहाँ का, यहाँ से यहाँ तक का, t1 and t2 same है. If this is 1 day and this is also 1 day, if this is also 1 day, then in that case, very clearly Kepler said area 1 must be equal to area 2, which means ये वाला area और ये वाला area equal रहेगा, provided ये वाला time और ये वाला time equal है. Hence, this is called law of area. This is the second law. It is called as law of areas. What does this say? The law of areas given by Kepler says that the line joining planet and the sun, this is in the most of the textbooks, the line joining planet and the sun. If you don't want to say line joining planet and the sun, you'll say the radius vector, okay, or the position vector of the planet sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time. The statement I'm writing here, the line joining planet and the sun, जिसको आप मैंने बोला, the line joining planet and the sun can also be called radial vector or radius vector, and position vector also, sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time. That is a statement of law of areas, Kepler's law of areas. What does the law say? The line joining planet and the sun sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time. If T1 equal to T2, then A1 equal to A2. Just mind it. आप बोलेंगे सर if the planet is present somewhere here, अगर आपका planet यहाँ पर present है तब तो इसका distance बहुत दूर रहेगा. Line joining planet and sun will be very large. In that case क्या area same होगा? Yes, absolutely. Let's add up this also. I say now after few days my planet is present at A. So the line joining now from the planet and the sun will be SA. ये line joining रहेगा SA. And in time say T3, time T3, in time T3, if our planet reaches at this position, say position G, now the line joining planet and the sun will be SG, this one. And the area you can see over here will be swept in this way. This is the area swept. I assume that let the area here be A3. ये area A3 है. The condition remains the same as per Kepler. If T1 equal to T2 equal to T3, then again A1 will be equal to A2 will be equal to A3. तो अगर ये भी one day है, if T3 is also one day, this is one day, this is one day, and this is also one day, the areas will remain same. This area, this, it will be swept. Area swept will be equal. Okay. My question is, how is this possible? ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? Area is equal हो रहा है. Because the speed with which the planet is moving around the sun is not constant. जिस स्पीड से planet sun के चारों तरफ घूमता है वो constant नहीं है. It varies. The planet when comes closer to the sun, it becomes faster, and when it goes away from the sun, it becomes slower like this. Faster, slower, faster, slower. That is why the areas swept in given time remain the same. All right. So this is the second law. Let's talk about the third and the last law. The third and the last law talks about the time taken by the planets to complete one revolution around the sun. Time taken by the planet to complete one revolution around the sun is denoted by T. It is called period of revolution. The period of revolution of the planets around the sun depends on A. जैसा मैंने बताया, A can be the semi-major axis, or it is also called as the mean distance of the planet from the sun. So if T is the period of revolution and A is semi-major axis or mean distance, you can say, then the third law states that T square is directly proportional to A cube. T square directly proportional to A cube means what? T square directly proportional to A cube means the square of period of revolution of a planet around sun is directly proportional. You can see in the formula, is directly proportional to cube of semi-major axis. Either you call semi-major axis, or I have given you the name mean distance of the planet from the sun. This statement itself is known as the third law of Kepler's planetary motion, which is also called law of period. What does the law of period say? The law of period says that the square of time period of revolution, which is here I've written, is directly proportional to the cube of semi-major axis. This is very important law. T square directly proportional to A cube. A is, remember, semi-major axis or mean distance, which is shown over here. यहाँ से यहाँ को A बोलते हैं. O to A is A. This one. From here Thank you. All right. So these are the three laws given by Kepler. As I told you, it is called the Kepler's laws of planetary motion. You generally call it as first law, second law, third law. ऐसा भी है कि इनका अलग लॉ, थर्ड लॉ बोले तो हमेशा लॉ ऑफ पीरियड, सेकंड लॉ बोले तो लॉ ऑफ एरिया, फर्स्ट लॉ बोले तो लॉ ऑफ ऑर्बिट्स. This you have to keep in your mind. Okay, so this was the three laws of planetary motion given by Kepler. We end it over here. For any other doubts, for any other lectures, you can always contact us. As I've told you, we have branches at Nerul, we have branches at Kalamboli, Old Panvel and New Panvel. And very shortly, as per the government notification, we will be starting offline lectures also. Okay, students, take care. Bye. See you all next time.